Good morning, everybody, and welcome to November the 6th for Movember. I was talking with one of the other parents at the girls' school yesterday and remarking how lucky we've been to have a mild autumn. It is now November the 6th, and this is our first snowfall, and just a light dusting of snow. We're not covered in 2 feet of snow. It's not 40 below. My gauge on the truck says 0 degrees Celsius, and that is a lovely place to be in Fort McMurray on November the 6th. So I've been talking about some of the positive things that have helped me in maintaining a more positive attitude and dealing with my depression and anxiety. But something has reared its head in my life, and I want to address it. And that is the concept of imposter syndrome. One of the things that creative people, I don't know why I'm generalizing like that, one of the things that many people struggle with is the idea that their expertise is not actually expertise. This idea of fake it till you make it. That, because you don't have some sort of qualified and codified training, that your experience is less valuable than someone who is. And there's a few things I want to say to that. The one is, while I do not ever disparage education, education is an ongoing process that happens every day of your life. And while some of that is structured and ends up in certificates and degrees and all those things, you can gain that knowledge and that experience without having to go through that structured and formal education. That does not make you an imposter or less than somebody who did. In fact, there are several places in the world where if you had to go to school to get that knowledge and instruction, that you would be derided for it because you couldn't come up with it on your own, because you spent that money unnecessarily. I'm not one of those people. I love education and I believe in education. If I won the lottery today, I'd probably go back to university and stay there till the money ran out. But this idea of self-worth and externalizing self-worth, externalizing anything, is something that I wanted to talk about. There is no magic bullet, especially when it comes to mental health and physical health. There is no magic bullet. There is nothing outside of you that is going to magically solve all your problems. Medication can help for all kinds of different things, but medication addresses a symptom. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve whatever it is that caused your poor physical health or poor mental health. A chemical imbalance in the brain might cause some mental health challenges, and a medication can help to stabilize that chemical imbalance, but it doesn't solve it. It addresses the symptom. I don't mean to sound like I'm disparaging the use of medication. I'm not. If taking something that is prescribed by a doctor helps you to cope in the world around you, then that is, by every definition, a solution. But it does not magically make the thing that was causing your challenge in the first place go away. That thing still exists. You're finding a mechanism to cope with it. So I believe that there are a lot of people who look at the challenges they face and externalize them. Someone else is making me do this. Something outside of me is causing this. As soon as I get this thing, I can do the thing that I want to do. And I really want to address the idea that internally, that internal dialogue and that internal exploration and introspective view is what's going to address the fundamental underlying condition that is causing your challenge. if someone if you're doing something and it makes you happy, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of it. Unless, of course, what you're doing is hurting someone else, then it matters. But it is about personal accountability, personal reliability, and a self-sufficient balance. You go to see your doctor for guidance, but you can reject that guidance. That doctor is learned and has expertise that you want to draw upon, but you get to choose whether or not you rely on that expertise. So if you have been recognized for something that you do formally, let's say you win the Nobel Peace Prize for being a wonderful person. While that probably feels really good, like a validation of what you're doing, in the grand scheme of things, it's unimportant, because you're doing what you're doing not for the recognition, but for the act of doing what you're doing, because it pleases you and makes you happy. So if there is one thing that I can add to the arsenal that we've already talked about, so we talked about reaching out for help, and that might not be the best characterization of it. Reaching out to your network for support. It's not that there's something broken and you need to fix it. It's that your explorations of your own thoughts will help you to articulate and formulate how they influence your actions. So reach out to somebody, your family doctor, a mental health professional, a friend, a coworker, a colleague, a peer, a childhood buddy, whatever it is. The act of simply talking about it can help you to understand it better. And getting someone else's perspective on it can help you get outside of the echo chamber that is in your head and understand that there are different ways of looking at the situation that may not lead you to the thing that is your depression and anxiety. That's number one. Number two, diet, exercise, regular routine. These are things that will help you establish a framework so that when you do encounter the things that depress you and cause your anxiety, you have a reliable framework in place, an infrastructure of the intangible that is something that you can touch and understand, so that you recognize that the depression and anxiety is not a fundamental building block of who you are. And then third, introspection. While it is good to get outside of your head and get different perspectives, you're using that to inform the inner dialogue, to help guide the path of self-love and self-care that introspection brings. Meditate, do yoga, read a book, go for a walk, do something mundane and repetitive, like knitting or embroidery or woodworking, or something that allows you to do a physical action that that becomes autonomic. You don't have to think about it, so that you can allow your brain the opportunity to work through your subconscious. Those are acts of meditation. But do try active meditation, exploring and recognizing the ideas and thoughts that formulate your actions. Clearing your mind, emptying your mind of thought, releasing negative energy from your psyche. And I mean, I know I say those terms and it sets off a lot of people's woo-woo alarms where they go, it's a little woo-woo for me. But if you visualize the things that are depressing you and causing you anxiety as an energy, and acknowledge them, and don't give them the power to influence your actions, it can be a help. If you're a Netflix subscriber, I found Headspace a good series. Headspace is a guide to meditation. Very westernized and easy to digest, I found. And I've rewatched several episodes when I lose that fundamental idea of how to meditate. And I want to let you know that this right here is one of my active meditations. Talking to you helps me remind myself of what I need to do to maintain a positive outlook and be not filled with anxiety. I hope you have a great and balanced day. Please donate to the campaign. It is Movember, and that is a time where we focus on men's health issues. And the money you donate to Movember will help to go against combating things that are killing 60 men an hour. So help us out. Lots of love to you all. A better and balanced day. We'll talk to you again soon.